Hey, what's going on, guys? So yesterday I went and seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I had a lot of stuff to do afterwards, so I couldn't really get around to making a review of the movie. So I'm going to do that right now. Uh, First, I want to talk about the movie a little bit, no spoilers. And then after that, there'll be some spoilers, and I'll let you know when there's going to be spoilers, so you can turn the video off at that time if you want. When I'm actually talking about what's going on in the movie. So my thoughts on this movie is I thought it was a really good movie. I had a good time watching it. I took my family with me. Everybody enjoyed the movie. Everybody liked the movie. I think everybody did a great job in their roles. And I liked the story. I thought the story was really good. I thought Logan Kim, the kid who plays Podcast in the movie, I thought he I thought out of the kids, I think he was the most likable. I liked him the best in his part. I think he really played it well. And yeah, I mean, I thought the movie was a very good sequel to the originals. The way, done so far apart from the originals, I thought it was a good story to bring it along. Now, with that being said, it's a little over 2 hours long, and it feels like it's 2 hours long because there's a lot of story building. There's a lot of introducing characters in this movie. The middle part of the movie, to me, kind of it felt how do you put it? It felt kind of drawn out. A lot of talking. It definitely felt like a 2 hour movie, for sure. Not that it was bad. It wasn't bad. It just, a lot of character build in the movie. And I don't know. There was something about it that the flow of the movie just. There was, I don't know what it is. It just something felt a little off to me in it. But that the last 20 minutes or so of the movie is the real payoff in this movie. It's fantastic. There were parts that almost had me crying a little bit tearing up. I've heard that before, people crying in the theaters at this movie. And yeah, there's stuff in it that does that. And you can probably imagine what it is. I'm not going to say right now. But yeah, it does. It's for someone like me that's been a Ghostbusters fan my whole life. Really love the first movie. Actually enjoy the second movie. I know a lot of people didn't like the second movie. I like the second movie. I like Vigo. I like the story of the second movie. Yeah, sure, it's a little hokey with the spraying the Statue of Liberty and making it walk and all of that, but I still enjoy it. It's Ghostbusters. It's supposed to be kind of hokey, right? I mean, we're not talking about science fact here. It's science fiction, and it's just supposed to be fun. And I did like the first two, and I like this movie too. I thought it was also fun, and the girl that plays his granddaughter. What's her name again? McKenna Grace. She plays Phoebe. I mean, she's like a mini Egon. She's that same. She's super smart, super intelligent. And she the hair and everything. Very scientific. So yeah, she's like a mini Egon. I think she played her role very well. But with that being said, having her in it a lot without the comedy of, say, a Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd playing off of him, playing off of Egon's kind of dull scientific character. I think that's kind of what was a little miss in this movie, with that. To me, I don't know, but I still enjoyed it. The characters were all very enjoyable. It just definitely felt like a 2 hour movie to me. I mean, sometimes you watch a movie that's 2.5 hours, but it's so enthralling, so action packed that it doesn't feel like it's that long. I mean, you can tell this movie is 2 hours, but definitely enjoyable movie. I can't wait to watch it again, especially for that last 20 minutes. That last 20 minutes of this movie is the huge payoff, and everybody was clapping. Now, I will say, now I went right in the middle. It was like 4:30 in the afternoon on a weekday, and it was pretty empty. The theater was pretty empty. Now, I booked our seats the night before, and I expected the theater to be pretty full, and there was maybe 2 seats taken, because you choose your seats. It was maybe 2 seats taken in the entire theater when I booked. I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But definitely still, though, like I said, a weekday, 4:30 in the afternoon, not really a time that a lot of people go to the movies. It's kind of like when I like to go to the movies, because there's not that many people there. But yeah, like I said, really enjoyable movie. Compared to the other two, I would probably, I would put this one at the end, or maybe equal to the second one. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars on a movie rating. For a Ghostbusters movie, I thought it was a great movie, especially that ending, man. That ending was fantastic. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to the spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything about this movie, if you don't want to know anything about it, go ahead and turn the video off now and go watch something else. But yeah, let's get into the spoilers. All right, so this movie is basically about Egon, and Egon's kind of sad life after the end of Ghostbusters 2. He ends up getting disowned by everybody. Because he takes Ecto-1, and he just kind of leaves in the middle of the night because he's discovered something. And so he goes to check it out, basically, to see if his discovery is correct. And it turns out to be correct. He moves into this old house outside this small town in the middle of nowhere. And basically, he ends up defending the world all these years from the return of Gozer. That's in this mine where they mine this specific ore. And that is some kind of, like, I guess, a superconductor, and it's the same ore that they used for the metal in Dana's apartment building in the original movie. And that's the connection between this place and New York, and why Gozer came through that building. And so, yeah, it's kind of a sad story of that. His family has disowned him because he left them to protect them. But nobody really knows this, so he's kind of hated by everybody all these years, but he's all alone out here in this middle of nowhere, and trying to protect everybody. So yeah, pretty sad story on that fact. The movie is a comedy, but it's got a lot of sadness in it too. And I thought the kids did a good job, the grandkids. I called it. I told my daughter, I said, I got a feeling Egon's going to be in this movie. And he is. He's in the whole movie. He's all through it. As a spirit, he's helping the grandkids. And then at the end, when the real Ghostbusters show up during the final showdown with Gozer in the middle of this field, because Egon set this huge field up to be a giant trap to finally trap Gozer and stop Gozer from coming back every so many years. And but it failed. The trap failed, and then Egon gets killed at the end of the movie. He's the coroners called it he had a heart attack, but basically he was, Gozer killed him. And but he hid the trap that had one of the what are they called, the demon dogs in it that is needed for either the gatekeeper or the keymaster. They have to have both in order for Gozer to fully be whole. So he hid the trap where they couldn't find it, and that's all part of the movie. Paul Rudd, once they find the trap, Paul Rudd opens the trap and releases it, and then all everything hits the fan, so to speak, and they're just overwhelmed at the end. They figure out what's happening. The kids figure out that that he had made this huge trap out there, and so they're gonna try to finish what their grandfather started and trap Gozer for good. Well, in the meantime, the mom gets possessed and she becomes the gatekeeper, and Paul Rudd gets possessed in the whole Walmart scene with the mini marshmallows and becomes the keymaster, and they meet up at this mountain where the mine is, where Gozer's coming from, and the key gets together with the gate like it did in the first movie, and Gozer becomes fully whole. And so in that final showdown, after they kind of trick Gozer, and they are able to trap one of the demon dogs and release their mother, and they get back to the house to try to set the trap off. They're a little overpowered. They basically can't handle Gozer. And then all of a sudden, that's when you hear Peter Venkman, you hear their things light up. And Peter Venkman says, "Did you miss us?" And the audience kind of went crazy in the theater. And then you had that awesome scene at the end where you got the original Ghostbusters, and the whole time I'm going, she's gonna ask it, and she's like, "Are you a god?" And I'm like, everybody's like, "Say yes." And then Winston looks at Ray and is like, "You know what to say, man." It was a great scene, and it was fantastic. And then of course, they're firing at her and cross the streams, but there's only the three of them, and she breaks the streams apart. Gozer breaks the streams apart and throws them, and they're like, "Man, I don't remember this hurting so bad the first time." And then of course Phoebe, she steps up and she starts blasting them with hers, and Gozer is pushing Phoebe back, and then you see Egon's hands grab the I'm gonna get a little emotional now. Grabs the blaster, and they're shooting Gozer, and then Peter and Ray and Winston, they all join in and they start shooting Gozer, and they're all kind of looking over, and there's Egon standing there with Phoebe looking at them and looking, and I think it was Peter looked over and went, I kind of figured you were going to show up or something like that. And it was a great scene, man. And then when it was all over, they deploy the trap. They're actually, they trap Gozer. And when the scene is over, they roll this kind of little credit, like pre-credit up the screen in the middle of the movie that said "For Harold." And that was real touching. That was a touching scene. But anyways, to me, it just solidified that there's only one group that are the Ghostbusters, and the rest of the movie felt like kids acting like the Ghostbusters until Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson showed up. Then it became the Ghostbusters, without a doubt. They were just like their old selves, playing off each other. Oh my gosh. Bill Murray's Peter Venkman was still spot on the way he was talking to Gozer. Oh man, it was fantastic. That scene alone is worth the price of admission. over and over again to see this movie. That scene was amazing. Everybody was clapping in the theater. You know, when you got people clapping in a theater, you got something special going on. And yeah, it was great, fantastic. And like I said, that little scroll of For Harold was just amazing. It was done tastefully, and done very well. And so the movie, the movie ends like everybody's thinking, oh, these kids are going to take over as the Ghostbusters, and maybe they will down the road somewhere. I don't know, but they didn't end the movie that way. They ended the movie as like, Ray and Peter and Winston, they are the Ghostbusters. And Winston comes over to Ecto-1 and rubs the car, and it's like, what did they do to you? Don't, it's okay. I'm gonna take care of you. And they do, he takes the car back. And so you got to stay for the end credits, because there's a pre-credit. That's a great little credit where you got your first scene with Sigourney Weaver in the movie, and she's basically in the credits. And it's her and Peter Venkman sitting there, and she's holding the cards up, doing the test to him that he was doing to the kids in the first movie. And guess what it is. And that was a neat little scene there. I'll let you watch it and to see how that goes. I thought that was cool. And at the very end of the credits, you have another end credits scene with Ernie Hudson and Annie Potts, where you have Janine, who seems pretty successful herself, talking to Winston, who became very successful in life, and saying, you did really well for yourself, and then ask him, are you still paying the rent at Ray's bookstore? And he's like, yeah, one of these days he's gonna really be successful. He's gonna make it. And I thought that was neat, that he became so successful, and now he's kind of taking care of the guys, his friends. That was neat. And then it shows that he got the firehouse back right at the end. It shows him walking into the abandoned firehouse and pulling Ecto-1 into the firehouse. And so I thought that was a really cool scene to end the movie with. But yeah, so that's my review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think you should go see it if you're a Ghostbusters fan, or if you just like a fun movie, paranormal movie. Go see this movie, man. I think they've done it well. I think for a third installment of the movie, they really did a good job on it. And like I said, that last 15-20 minutes of the movie is just, it's worth the price of admission alone to go see that. So yeah, like I said, I would give it 4 out of 5 stars for a Ghostbusters movie. And hey, if you like this video, if you like my review, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Right up here, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. I'm Chewy Solo, and this is Black and Red. See ya.
Woo! Now that is a whole lot of fun right there.